walk you through some advanced features within Google Docs. The first one we're going to talk about is located here over in the corner. It's your editing mode, suggesting mode, or viewing mode. So what that allows you to do is if you are set as an editor on your document, you are going to have full reign of editing and changing the contents within this document. If you are suggesting a change, what that's going to do is it's going to suggest things to the owner of this document. So if I was working collaboratively with somebody else and I didn't want them actually changing the document, but I did want them interacting with the document, what I can do is I can allow them to suggest changes. This is very similar to track changes within Microsoft Word. The viewing is going to allow someone to just read or print a final document. So really it's just view only access. The nice thing about suggesting changes is that as an owner of a document, I will receive an email that says, do you accept these changes? And I can select one by one that I yes, agree with the change, or no, disagree with the change, or I can automatically accept all or decline all of those suggestions. So I can change how I'm interacting up here in a document. Also, when I'm sharing a document with someone, I can give them different editing access. So again, an editor, a commenter, that's someone who's suggesting, and then a viewer is someone who is a view only. So depending on how I give access to different people, those are those people that would have the different editing access. As the owner of the document, the originator of the document, I also have the ability to change everybody's access at different times. So you may give someone editing access for a certain period of time and then take that away at a certain day to only be suggesting maybe something that's going live on a website, maybe something that's being sent out to parents. Maybe you don't want people changing an original after a certain date. So once I give someone different access, you'll see here in my share menu, I can go back and always take out or change their level of interaction with this document. I can also transfer ownership to another person or remove this person totally from our list of people that we interact with. Within the share settings, you can also allow anybody who has editing access to change permissions and share. So anyone that's a collaborator on this document. And you can also give people options if they want to download, print, or copy a file. So depending on how you share things with people, you might change the different levels in which they interact. So I'm going to just toggle over to suggesting mode, and I'm going to say, maybe I'm looking at grammatical differences here. And obviously these are not grammatically correct. I'm just showing you in the case of just to kind of get an idea of what this is. Okay, so as an editor, you had full editing access. You would have just changed the document. As a suggester or a commenter, you now can see that the original word is crossed off and I have a new word here in green. That's a suggestion. So as the owner of this document, I can choose, do I want to accept or decline or reject this suggestion? So I'm going to decline this. I'm also going to decline this over here. But I am going to add, I think the tiger is cool. And I'm going to keep that here. So suggesting mode, you can turn that on and off. Viewing, it's going to take away your toolbar at the top and give you just the ability to view this document. Editing, again, is going to take over, all rights and responsibilities of this. That being said, sometimes when you are interacting with other people on a document or when you're just using a document that you are using individually, you do want to go back to a previous version because Google Docs and all of our Google tools do save so frequently, you might decide, ooh, I really wanted to go back to what I had 1 day ago or 1 hour ago even. You can access your version history from the File menu. You can come in here and go to Version History, or you can come up here to Open Version History where it says Last Edit was seconds ago. You can give each version a different name. So if you were having different drafts, you can have naming certain versions. So maybe you're calling this draft 1, and then you're going to change things and change it to draft 2. If you click on version history here, you're going to see the pop out. So all of these different things were versions that I had. If you only want to see things that were named versions, so draft 1, draft 2, like I just talked about, you could see that here. You can also go back to a totally old version. So you can see here, here's some notes of videos that I'm creating. And this was done on the 28th at 7:17 p.m. However, today mine looks a little bit different. Any of these, I can either turn changes on or off so I can see what the changes were, or I can turn that off so I don't see what the changes are. The changes were that I got rid of all of this stuff at the top. I can name this version. I can also make a copy of a particular version at any given time. If I go to a version and I decide, I really wanted to restore this version, I can always restore and go back to a previous version. All versions are going to be listed in that version history, so you can toggle between, go back and look and see what those things are. So a difference between maybe offering someone suggesting or commenting view versus maybe having to go back into version history and seeing how someone changed what you did. The next thing I'm going to show you how to do is more of an organizational tool within Google. It's called the Table of Contents, very similar to a book table of contents. What it's going to allow you to do is have internal links within your document to be able to jump between different things within a page. So imagine on a website, if there's links to different pages, that's going to be the same thing here, where you're going to have a table of contents for maybe a longer document where you can jump to different sections within. To create a table of contents, I'm going to click Insert, come down here to Table of Contents. You can either choose to have page numbers if your document has page numbers, or I can include blue links at the top. Blue links look very much like hyperlinks. People are very comfortable noticing that blue links mean to jump to a different item. So I'm going to click blue links. It says I need to add headings. I do that by changing the format or paragraph styles of each of my headings. So I want to make the word tiger here a heading or a subject. So I can do that here by clicking on the style, and I can change the heading to heading 1. I can also do that here under paragraph style and change it to different sublevels. Very much like any kind of bulleting, these are going to be different indenting levels. So heading 1 is going to be your highest level, 2 is going to be 1 indent in, 3, 2 indents in, and so on. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to have all of my subjects here be heading 1 level. Wolf. This is especially useful as you have longer documents, things that have multiple pages where it's easier just to see the table of contents at the top and jump to what is exactly needed. So from here, once you have your headings done, you can click the update. And here is my updated list. So within here, I can click and it will jump down to tiger. Of course, because I'm on this page already, it didn't really jump, but I'll click down to elephants and it will scroll directly down to the elephant section. I can then read about elephants and scroll directly back up to my table of contents, and I'm greeted here. So imagine a 20-page document that you're working on, and you have your table of contents, so you don't always need to scroll back and forth. At any time, if you change the level of the paragraph style, and maybe I make this a heading 2 instead, you'd come up here, update it, and you'll see how those things get updated within. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to add an internal bookmark. So very similar to a table of contents. An internal bookmark is going to be something kind of like a footnote that will guide people to a specific area of your document. So, for instance, I want this photo of an elephant to link back to the bookmark here. So I want, imagine students are working and I give them these 5 images to look at. And I say, when you're looking at these images, click on an animal to learn more. If I want to have students click on this and it will jump back to this paragraph on elephants, what I can do is I can bookmark this section to allow students to jump kind of in between sections. This can also be helpful if you are bookmarking to different areas within a document. If you wanted to, like in a research paper, if you needed to bookmark to a bibliography or a works cited page, you can do that. So I'm going to insert a bookmark to the word elephant here. I highlighted the word, I went to the insert menu and selected bookmark. From here, I'm going to click on that elephant button, or the elephant that I'm going to act as a button. Right now it's just a photo, and I'm going to say I want to insert a link. So it's going to ask me, do I want to link to one of the headings that I have in my document? Do I want to link to a bookmark in my document, or do I want to paste a link in? So a link could be to a YouTube video, a website, another document, whatever it might be. I'm going to link to my bookmark on elephants and click apply. So now if I'm a student or anyone interacting with this, if I click on my elephant picture and I click on bookmark, it's going to drive me right to that paragraph that I bookmarked earlier. So you can see how this can be really interactive. One of the terms that many people use when they look at Google Tools is called a hyperdoc, which is adding hyperlinks within your document to make it really engaging and interactive. So one of the features that you could use is adding bookmarks or table of contents to have people jump to different sections, kind of like a choose your own adventure book. The last thing I wanted to show you was how to create a link to an outside resource. So when we did our bookmark, we linked to an inside resource, so something that's internal to our document. Up here, I have a lion picture, and I found a great video from World Wildlife Foundation, and I'm going to have students, when they click on the image of the lion, I want them to go directly to this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my image, and I'm going to insert a link. And instead of choosing a heading or a bookmark, I'm going to choose to paste that link in and apply. So now when I click on that, I'm directed directly to that video. So I can watch it as a preview here, so I can kind of see a snippet of what I'm going to look at. I can also click here and it's going to start right up and open in a new tab. So again, that's your internal linking of bookmarks and headings versus your linking of objects. Objects can be anything. They can be websites, Google Docs, YouTube videos, PDF files, whatever it is that you have a link to, you can link to that. And these are objects, meaning that they're just images I found on Google Images, and I'm going to have them interact more as buttons as opposed to just a text box. So you can get really creative. You can create a chart. You can create a table in which you put these things so it's nice and neat and organized. But for the sake of this video, I just wanted to show you the process in which you get those different features of linking. So in this video, we talked about the changing modes, the editing, suggesting, and viewing. How to look at the version history over here in the File menu. We looked at our table of contents to jump to different sections within our document. You have your bookmark, which would drive you to different areas within your document as well. And then we also linked an object.